Alright, welcome to Crown Oaks Gaming's first official review. I've got two rating systems here, one of which is shamelessly stolen from Schlock Mercenaries' creator. They call it the Threshold of Awesome. I call it the Threshold of Badassery. Basically, it's a pass-fail test. Do I think this game is badass? The second one is a little more technical. It's a scale of 1 to 10 with 5 categories. Story, gameplay, visuals, audio, and mechanics. Right? Now these two rating systems are independent of each other because you can have an absolutely shit movie from a technical viewpoint, but have it still be a fun, badass movie, right? Same thing with video games, okay? And also, not everything that is, an absolutely beautiful technological marvel is going to be a good movie. Purely subjective, all my own opinions. Nothing's paid for by anybody. So, Unicorn Overlord, in my opinion, does cross the threshold of badassery. It doesn't, in and of itself, do anything really innovative, but it's a good game. I feel satisfied having just platinumed it, and it feels genuinely good to play. So yeah, I consider it badass. I would probably end up playing this again. Now it's a low-key badass, not a oh my god this game was so badass, but it's still badass. I'd say it clears the threshold. Now on a more technical rating, it's 2 points per category. And the way I'm going to go about this is, basically, if I've only got minor complaints about it, it's going to get the full 2 points per category. If I've got major complaints, okay, then we've got an issue, we're not going to go through with it.
They will be ours. We march.
It's only going to start losing points then, if I've got real issues. And depending on how bad I feel those issues are, then we're going to adjust the score downwards. Maybe even losing the full 2 points for the category.
Well fought.
So, first is story. The story is in no way anything innovative, groundbreaking. It's not something that's going to make you go, oh my god, this is an amazing story. It's not Lord of the Rings or anything. It's no Final Fantasy Tactics either. It's a pretty straightforward, what you'd expect story overall.
Victory grows ever closer.
And that's not a bad thing, because what it does do, it does very well, in my opinion. It does the cliches pretty darn well. There are a few genuine twists, a few surprises that I was happy about. It's not all just blah predictability, but it doesn't stray too far from a story formula that works. It works. Now, from a graphical viewpoint, you guys can see here, this is the map graphics. Everything looks clean, it looks pretty. The characters are distinct from the background, but they still fit with the background, unlike some other titles I could name. Some games, the background just clashes horribly with the animated characters. And then you've got this graphics here, which is the main graphics. This is what you see in the talkie-talk sequences and the cutscenes. And it's genuinely beautiful.
Stay safe.
They've got enough detail that it's clear they took care and really wanted to do this right. But they also didn't go crazy over it.
march on. Victory grows ever closer. Well fought.
In terms of audio, I don't know how much you can hear over my ears. Over my voice, rather.
Fine bout.
But they don't go crazy with it. The music is there, the background music is genuinely
Grows ever closer.
pleasant without being disruptive, which has my heartfelt approval. The voices, they got good voice actors. Gotta say that. Atlas did a very nice job there.
Ends here.
Everybody's distinct.
This'll do it. I'll help too.
As far as gameplay, it's pretty satisfying, pretty well done. I have fun, it's enjoyable. The lower difficulties, which this one admittedly is right now, this is on normal, right? There's enough variation in the campaigns for it to be challenging
We march on.
and interesting, especially at higher levels, and for you to not get bored.
Need of a rest. We march.
Oh, back to graphics for just a moment. The character designs, you have several that are clearly, you know, meant to be pandering to the fan service side of things, which, you know, I don't strictly speaking object.
Time is with us. Should we only keep focus?
But they don't overdo it. There are certain elements where I'm going, why did you design it like that? You know, there had to have been a better choice.
Fine bout.
One of the key components, from my perspective,
You face me.
for that one of the key examples, rather, is
Keep us safe.
the elves.
Remember to rest.
And Scarlet there, why is her dress like that? Just, why? But, whatever. Somebody made a choice, and okay. As long as they're happy with it. But overall, good job, good character design. Everything's clearly fantasy without being too fantasy. So yeah, gameplay overall enjoyable. There is some opacity in places, but it's a thing. Final category, the mechanics.
I'll help too.
I have to say, it's pretty well implemented. Alright? As you can see here, I'm not touching control during the combat. It is all purely automated,
Well fought.
which is an element that I remember most vividly from, I believe it's Final Fantasy XII. Because here you are, you're setting up if-then statements, basically, and order of priority. And then you've got to balance your AP against and your PP against what moves you want to use, active points, passive points. Active points are stuff they do on their turn, passive stuff is stuff that they do between their turns, that's the red and blue respectively. Equipment's important, but not, you know, absolutely vital. The individual characters all have special, unique roles.
'Tis ours now. We march.
Different classes all feel more or less distinct, even the ones that are kind of, sort of
Time is at hand.
duplicates of each
To
other.
me.
Like the different archers, they're distinct. If I have a complaint, mechanically speaking, and this is
Victory grows ever
purely a
closer.
personal thing,
The path is set.
is that the number of units you can make, you're limited to 5 characters per unit and 10 units. The full sheet here, right? Now, I'm okay with limiting the number of units you can put on the field, which is fine. but you can recruit around 70 unique characters, and I believe the number is 68 just generic mercenaries, which, you know, that's fine, no objection there really, but you only let me use 50 out of that roughly 140, and it's just kind of like, what? Why not give me more? You know, because I've got, so up to 9, 10, every character from Hodrick here on down is somebody I'm never going to use, I can't use in combat right now. Alright, and yes, there are some characters here that are end game only, post game only. Elgor here, Millie, Nigel, who I have to go mess around with. But it's just like, I want to build teams, and you've got all these wonderful possible arrangements, and you can't do anything with them. You can't even just build them to have them sitting there on the side ready to use. All these characters are just sitting there doing nothing, which I think is kind of a waste. It's kind of a shame. Let me build more than 10 units just to try out different formations instead of having to tear my existing ones apart, or give me a function to save, you know, do a quick save so I can reload one after I've played around with it. Because that's the big problem for me, is that I don't want to take apart. But that's my main mechanical complaint, other than opacity on certain terms, and certain word choices here. I mean, some of these paradigms are pretty straightforward, but what took me a while to realize is that target HP is greater than 100%. What that really means is equal to 100%. Right? Greater than or equal to 100%. Greater than or equal to 75%. 50%. Greater than or equal to. Less than or equal to 75%. Right? It's a little opacity. There's the debuff versus affliction question. Buffed, debuffed makes sense. Afflicted, what's the difference between an affliction and a debuff? They don't really explain it. Now, most of this stuff, you know, makes sense. Poison, burning, guard sealed, passive sealed, that all makes sense. You know, a lot of this is just very much straightforward. You know, you can even decide who the target is, target only the user. You can decide literally what order the actions happen in every single time. You can set up a lot of different things here mechanically, and I like it. You know, it gives you a lot of control, even if you can't directly control anything. Gotta set it all up. Money isn't really an issue. It's all good there. But yeah, all in all, I give this score probably, call it a 10 out of 10. No, not a 10 out of 10. Let's give it a 9 out of 10. Because there are a couple of things I would change, like that one. Replayability value is good. I give it a 9 out of 10. It loses a point in mechanics because really there are some things that they just should have been more transparent about.
You face me.
Just silly mistakes I don't really expect out of a company like Atlas. But all in all, a very good game. It does scratch the tactical itch. It does invoke Ogre Battle. It invokes Final Fantasy Tactics a bit. It's a good game. It scratches the itch, and it's worth playing. So, does it cross the threshold of badassery? Yes. Is it a good game in the technical sense? I think so. I've got a few quibbles here and there, little issues. I can't give it a perfect score. But it comes close. Very close. It's just, you know, just not quite ideal, in my opinion. And that's why nothing ever really gets a perfect score. There are other features that kind of have me banging my head. The goats over here, you know, why? It's a whole thing you gotta talk to them about. You gotta actually talk to the goat, go through a whole conversation to harvest the goat's milk, and everything else is just collect from these little glowy bits on the map. Why? Why? Why do you make it so difficult? Right here. Boom. Just small things like that, but there are several of them. I do like the way they've handled the maiden side of things, because it's literally just pick a companion. They do a lot of things post-game, but it's just... It's a good game. Overall, it's a good game. Well, thanks for watching. Overall, again, probably 9 out of 10. Lose half a point for story, half a point on mechanics. I know I don't normally do half points, or try not to do half points, but it doesn't really qualify for a full point. But it's enjoyable. Replayability, it's got a high replayability factor, simply because you've got all these different tactical combinations you can try. And you can try the scenarios on higher difficulties. There's True Zenoiran, which is basically permadeath. There are a lot of little things you can do. But overall, personally, I'd just give it a 9 out of 10. Anyway, thanks for watching. 9 out of 10 passes the threshold of badassery. Would recommend a playthrough, maybe not 2, but that depends on you more than it does on the game. It does well what it does at all.